Can You Relate with Kathy Dawson is presented by CK Media Productions.
Hi everyone, I'm Kathy Dawson. Welcome to Can You Relate? This is a show about relationships. If you've been tuning in for the last 5 weeks, you know we're here to help you. Whether it has to do with relationships with you and your spouse, you and your kids, you and your coworkers, you and your pet, whatever, this show is going to help you. So today we have a full lineup. We're going to start talking about photographs and how important they are in relationships. I want to chat with you a little bit about a framed composite I have that someone's going to bring in. Thank you so much. These are my women in my life. This is the generations. There are 3 generations here. And in the first segment, we're going to talk about how important it is to really collect photographs. It helps relationships from the past and the present. What you're looking at, if you look at the top woman here, she's from the Civil War era. This is my great-great-grandmother. And the one in the center is my daughter. So as I said, would you take this away? Thank you. We're going to pick up with Amanda Raybeck and talk more about photos, so come with me. You know, a picture is worth 1,000 words. Photographs are so important in life and so important in relationships. And anybody who knows me knows that I'm obsessed with photos. So we have Amanda Raybeck here from New Directions Photography to talk about why photos are so important with relationships. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. I think photos are really important because they capture those milestones over all the years. You get the pictures of the older generations meeting with the newer generations.
Right.
And the actual experience of getting together for a photograph is an experience a family will always remember too.
And I have to tell you, I will never forget this. Our kids were 8 and 10. We had a photo taken, and by the end of the photo session, I was in tears. It did not go well. I felt so sorry for the photographer. So how do you manage, especially large family photos, different personalities? How do you do that and get people to like each other through it?
We work really quick. We make sure it's quick and painless, and a lot of times, you know, they're doing it for mom or grandma or somebody like that. So we work with the kids' attention spans too. We try to get anything with the kids or the pets or anything like that done quicker, so that way they can rest while we do, you know, the older generational shots that we need to get done as well.
Pets have got to be hard. You know,
I'd love fun.
We have a little dog named Rosie. I'd love to have a photo of her. I don't know how you get a pet to just sit there, but that's great. Now, let me ask you this. The generational photos, some of the ones that I showed in the beginning, they were pretty wrecked up. How do you fix those?
With the technology we have these days, we can actually go through and retouch rips, tears, stains, and just about anything, and take those pictures that were once what you thought were ruined and bring them back to their original character. And the cool thing is, those also make nice little gifts, because if you give them to grandma or grandpa, you're not only giving them the picture, but you're giving them the memories.
Oh, it's all about the memories. Life is about making memories, right? If you came to my house, you'd walk into our kitchen, our entire refrigerator is covered. I'm over the top. It's covered, the refrigerator, the freezer, all photos. Then on the walls are composites of our family vacations. Okay. Up and down the stairs. I'm telling you, I'm obsessed. Is there a support group for people? Yeah. But now the holidays are coming.
Right.
So now, I always think about Christmas card photos. Everybody's doing Christmas card photos. Do you do that as well?
We do the Christmas card photos, and something that's really popular nowadays is getting the family together when they're in town for Thanksgiving or the holidays and doing family photos then.
Okay.
And while everybody's there, we'll do the session, and the pictures will be back in time for Christmas, and they can actually look at them online and order from home, because most of them are flying in or coming in for the holidays.
So it's not too late. If people want to do it now, it's not too late.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, the other thing that's going on, when I walk into photo stores, and yours may be the same way, you can put a photo on anything.
Right.
You got mugs, keychains,
Mouse
blankets. Yeah, so that's kind of neat.
A little bit of everything.
Great. Well, if you think that you want to have a family photo done pretty soon, now's the time to really get it together with your family, and maybe give Amanda a call. And you can get a hold of her at New Direction Photography at 440-708-0965, or log on to your website at newdirectionphoto.com. Thank you so much for being in perfect timing.
Thank you.
We'll be right back in just a minute.
Up next, you've settled down and settled in, but there are some issues that still need settling. We'll settle them once and for all. And later in the show, you give and you give and you give. We'll tell you why giving is worth it for others and for yourself.
Everybody wins when you decide to donate your ride to Our Lady of the Wayside.
Our Lady of the Wayside is so much more than a car donation program. For over 40 years, we've helped thousands of physically and mentally challenged citizens live more comfortable lives within our network of homes. Our services range from assisting with personal care to developing productive personal growth. With your generous support and help, we can reach out to so many more. Y'all can help. Visit wayside.org or stop in to see us today. You can change lives.
So you're married, you have kids, you have a lot of responsibility. Life is very busy. You don't want to think about this. But, God forbid, something happens to either you or your spouse. What can you do to make sure your partner and your family is taken care of? We have someone here, Frank Dobniker from Lindell Insurance, who's going to actually help us with that situation. You know, nobody wants to think about this. But it happens. It happens.
It does, Kathy. And one thing that you care about your family.
Right.
And one thing, everybody's situation is different, but that still remains the same in everybody's situation.
And we have a photo of a family that we're going to put up. Missy and Seth, and they have 4 kids. Seth works out of the home. Missy is a stay-at-home mom. And, you know, they don't want to talk about it. They don't want to think about it. But if something happened to one of them, their kids are sitting there, the other spouse is sitting there. What can you do to, what kind of advice would you give to someone probably in their late 20s, early 30s? This is the stage they don't want to talk about it.
It's not a fun topic of conversation, but it's one thing that you do have to plan for is if you lose a spouse or a loved one. Life insurance is a very important part of that planning.
Right. Now, we have kids in our 20s, and we're chirping at them about this, even now, all right? And they aren't even married and have a home, but it's never too soon. I'm 53.
Yep.
I just got a life insurance policy. Hello. And it's expensive. So the sooner you do it, the less expensive it is, right?
Right. The earlier you get it, the cheaper it's going to be.
Right.
Life insurance is priced off of your age and your health.
Right.
So the younger you are, the cheaper it is for you.
And you know, you think that the person who's making the most income, okay, they get the life insurance policy. But actually, if something happened to the stay-at-home mom, that person's kind of stuck. I mean, what kind of coverage would you recommend for someone who, even though they have an income, may lose a spouse?
Absolutely. The stay-at-home mom or the homemaker provides a lot of chores and takes care of the family at home. So if they were to lose that person in the family...
How do you make up for that? I mean, what kind of policy, I guess I want to find out, because I know there's like term and there's whole life. Can you explain a little bit about that?
Well, most younger families prefer term insurance. It's cheaper when you have lower amount of assets, large debts. Term insurance is an affordable way to go and get a lot of coverage for the family.
Okay. Now, what's the whole life thing?
Whole life is permanent insurance that builds cash value, and it's for your whole life. You keep it. It's a long-term policy that builds cash value over time.
Okay. Now, would you recommend a young couple get whole life even though the premium is higher? Doesn't that make more sense because you have more time to earn the money?
It depends on what you're trying to achieve. If you want to build cash value and have coverage for longer than a period of 20 or 30 years, whole life insurance may make sense for your situation.
Okay. I made a mistake. We made a mistake. This is probably more information than you want to know. But when we were younger, we got the term because it was cheaper, right? Yep. Well, guess what? The term ended. And so that's why I had to get another life insurance policy. If I had known that, I would have gotten the whole life to begin with, and we would have been covered for the rest of our lives.
Right. Well, there is a big cost difference between term insurance and whole life insurance, and it just depends on, it usually always comes down to your cash flow and your budget. So.
Yeah, but if you can afford it, excuse me while I tell you what to do. If you can afford it, better you get it younger, okay? And then you're covered, because when you have to try to get it when you're older, you're kind of stuck.
Usually there's health issues as you get older. And,
exactly.
And like I said before, it's based off of your age. So the younger you get, the cheaper it is for you.
Right. Okay. All good information. Thank you. So if you're in a situation where you're really starting to think about this, you're young, you might want to consider giving Lindell Insurance a call and talking to Frank Dobniker, and you can get a hold of them by calling them at 440-247-3750 or log on to the website lindellinsurance.com. Thank you so much for being here. Stay tuned because Rate Your Relationship is up next. Thank you.
Finally, a date night. Special time with your favorite someone, but is it really that special? To answer that question, ask yourself these questions. When you and your mate go out on a date, do you end up talking about problems with work, the house, kids, something else? Go out with children, family, or friends and think that's a date? Go to the same restaurant time after time. Consider doing errands together as being a date. Well, let's see if Coach Kathy has a few notes to add to your date book.
You know, if you answered yes to 3 out of the 4 questions, you and your mate just might want to revamp your dating life. It's really important that when you go out on a date, that you set your problems aside. You don't want to be talking about the kids, the finances. This date is for you to really have fun and make memories. You also want to make sure that you don't want to do an errand when you're on the date. A lot of people think, oh, let's go to Home Depot and get a toilet. Okay? That's not considered a date. That's not a good idea. The other thing is that you want to think about dating as different activities. Do you know that when you do different things on your dates that you actually change your brain chemistry? There's a study that shows this. Now, if you'd like to know all of the 10 rules of dating, you can find those out on my website at kathythecoach.com. And if you'd like to take this survey or you know someone else who would like to take it, you can go to canyourelatetv.com. So stay tuned. We're coming up with another guest.
Just ahead, there's value in volunteering. We'll reveal what it means to you. And later, FYI, RMDs need to be taken care of NOW. We'll spell it all out for you in just a bit.
For those who struggle with drug and alcohol addiction, finding the courage to change is the first step to lasting recovery. Discover life in recovery. Discover Glen Bay.
Glen Bay, nationally recognized drug and alcohol treatment for adults. Discover more at glenbay.com.